Hi everyone, welcome to our channel Code Chasers. I am Madhulakshman Attiketi. In our earlier video, we saw what are public access modifiers. In this video, we will see what are protected access modifiers. What are public access modifiers? If at all we declare any data as a public access modifier, we can access the data anywhere in the program, right? So what is a protected access modifier? If at all we declare any data as a protected access modifier, we can access that particular data in that particular class and its subclass. That's it. Okay. See, the members of a class that are declared protected are only accessible within the class where it is declared and its subclass. Okay, it can be the data can be accessed, which is declared as a protected, can be accessed only in the particular class and also in its subclass. That's it. Apart from these two, it can't be accessed anywhere. Okay, so we will see it with an example. So to explain that, I am taking a class, okay, let's say parent class, okay. So I am building a constructor here, okay. Let's say like I am passing two variables, name, comma, age, and I am like keeping a pass statement here. Before that, I'll declare some variables as protected, okay. To declare a variable as a protected access modifier, we have to use a single underscore before, like before writing the variable name, okay. We'll see an example. If at all I want to declare a variable name as a protected access modifier, I have to use this particular underscore and then name, okay. For now, I'll treat it like I'll give a none value, okay. I am initializing it with a none, okay. And also I'm using a variable age, which is I'm making again it as a protected, and I am initializing it with none, okay. So what I am doing is, whatever the variables or whatever the parameters that I pass to the constructor, so I am assigning these particular variables to this protected variables and making this protected variable as instance, okay. Let's see, we'll see that self dot underscore name is equal to name, okay. Self dot underscore age is equal to age, okay. What are the variables that I passed here, name and age? I am like assigning it to this particular underscore name, which I treated it as a protected. I am making this protected variable as an instance variable, okay. So that I can access this particular underscore name outside the class, maybe like in subclass in the sense child class, okay. I'm also declaring a method. I'm making this method also like protected. Before this I'll write a name, okay. Print det. Obviously we'll know that first parameter will be a self is the instance at that particular moment. So print det is a method. To make it protected, what I have to do, like the same way that we did to a variable to make it protected, we have like used a single underscore before a variable name, right? Here also we have to use a single underscore before the method name, okay. So what will I do? I'll try to access self dot underscore name and self dot underscore age, okay. So I am declaring another class here. I'm building another class here. Let's say child class, which will inherit the parent class, okay. So I am building a constructor here for the child class, okay. Init, I am passing the same variables. First of all, which I pass to my parent class, that is name and age, and I am calling my init method of parent class, parent dot init. We already discussed how to call the init method of a parent class. We can call it with the class name or we can use super method, okay. Here I am using class name. Whatever you can use it, okay. And like like this parent class is demanding two parameters, name and age. So the parameters which I pass to child constructor, I'll pass it to parent constructor, okay. So I'm done with this. So before that I have to pass the instance also, instance at that particular moment. So after this, what will I do is, like I'll create a method, okay. I'll create a method print det. So I'll not make this as protected, okay. So I'm using like print det of child class, okay. So in this method, if at all I want to access the protected method of parent class. How can I do that? Can I do that? Yes, you can do that, because protected variables or protected data you can access within this class, or in like any subclass in the sense, if at all a class is inheriting this particular class, you can access in that child class also. See here this child class is inheriting this parent class, so I'm accessing this. I will access this parent method, this print det method, which is protected in my child class. Okay, now I'll access the protected method of parent class, self dot underscore print underscore det. Okay, now we will see whether we can access it or not. And also, so whenever I try to call the init method of the parent class, this name and age will go and will call the init method of the parent class, right? It went and called the init method of the parent class, which is in line number 4. And these variables are assigned to a protected variable, which are making them as instance, right? With the help of self dot underscore name. So I'll try to access this particular protected variables in my child class. Can we do that? Yes, we can do that. See, accessing the protected data, I can say that self dot underscore name we can access. Okay, so we can also access, I'll say that data 1 print statement, and this is second print statement. Okay, self dot underscore age, I'll write it here. Okay, so I'll create an instance for child class. Okay, child class, and I'll pass my name as like Madhu, and I'll pass age as 29 for suppose. Okay, so I'm trying to call here the method of child class, c dot, okay, print details child. Okay, so I am calling this particular method. In this particular method, if at all I call, it will try to call the print det method of parent class, and that method we have treated it as like a protected method. Okay, protected method. We will see whether this particular child class could able to call the protected method of the parent class or not. If it is like successfully able to access the protected method of the parent class, it should print all these print statements also. It should enter into this protected method. First of all, it should print this print statements. After that, it should come here, and here in this print statements, I am accessing the protected variables of the parent class. It should print self dot underscore name and underscore age also. Okay, if at all I try to print this, see, we'll come line by line. Okay, first of all, we called the method of child class print detail child. It went and called the print detail child method. So inside that we have called the protected method of the parent class. So print det method of the parent class. So it went into the print det method of the parent class, which is protected, and it has printed these two print statement. Name is name and age is age. This name like Madhu and 29 are the parameters that we passed while creating an instance of child. Okay, see, now we could able to access the protected method of the parent class. Okay, can we access the protected data of the parent class, that is protected variables of the parent class? Yes. See, after after calling the parent method, that is print det method, which is protected method of parent class in line number 15, in line number 16 and 17, we have accessed the protected variables of parent class, that is self underscore name and self underscore age. Okay, see, accessing the protected data 1, Madhu, these two print statements got successfully printed. That means we could able to access the protected variables of the parent class into the child class. Okay, so protected variables, protected access modifiers can be accessed within the class and also within the child class. Okay, so this is about the protected variables, protected access modifiers in Python. I hope you understood the basic concept of protected access modifiers. So the same thing that I have discussed in my earlier video, if at all you want to know that what all the methods or what are the variables that this particular instance can access, we can use dir method. We have already discussed this in our earlier videos, dir method, and we have to pass the instance to that particular dir method. And if at all I print the result, we will be knowing all the methods and variables with which like I can able to access with this particular instance. First of all, I'll comment this particular line method calling, I'll comment this, and if at all I execute this, see, with the help of instance C, these all the methods we can access, these all the variables we can access. See, so you, if at all you don't know all this particular what are these methods, you please ignore them. You just come to the last of the list here. See, here it will print the variables that we can access that user has defined. Okay, this underscore age I have defined, user has defined, underscore name I have defined. So these two are the protected variables, protected access modifiers that I said. So we could able to access these particular protected variables with the help of child instance C. Okay, and also this print underscore det, single underscore print underscore det is a protected method that I declared in the parent class. That also Python is saying that we can access it with the help of child instance C. And also there is another method print that child, which I declared it with the child class. This we can obviously access with the help of child instance. Okay, there is one of the very much useful method to let us know that with a particular instance how many variables we can access and what type of variables we can access, what type of methods we can access, what are the methods we can access in a program, and also inbuilt methods that we can access with this particular instance. Their method is very much useful. See, I hope you understood the basic understanding of protected access modifiers, and also I hope you understood this video from starting to end. I hope you found this video useful. If at all you find this video useful, please try to subscribe to my channel and share this video to the people who are preparing for Python programming language. Thank you so much.